Okay, guys, welcome back. So, choosing the right free curriculum for full stack web development can be confusing. So, here's a breakdown of the three most popular ones. So, we have freeCodeCamp, we have the Odin Project, and we have Full Stack Open. So, we're going to learn about how they work and how to use them together. So, let's start with freeCodeCamp. FreeCodeCamp is like it's like programming with training wheels. Everything runs on the web, no setup is required. You follow through step-by-step challenges, a lot of hand-holding as you build projects through HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So you follow the order as presented, starting from archived work course. My bad. So you start with responsive web design, which is HTML and CSS. You do some JavaScript, and then you get into front-end libraries. Data visualization, databases, and then you go to the back end, including testing. So, what do I mean by a lot of hand holding? Okay, this is a basic structure. It's a project based, so you start building off the bat right in your browser. So it's project based. So if we start with the first project, it shows you a preview of what you're going to build, and then it walks you through the step. You kind of solve the problems as you go on, check the code. If it's correct, you proceed on to the next one. So it's very good for beginners. It's perfect for beginners who need structure and instant feedback. Let's look at the Odin Project. So the Odin Project is a free curriculum that offers pretty much full stack web development from start to finish. So there's two paths involved in here. Let's just open the paths. So the main thing about the Odin Project is it helps you set up a development environment, and it expects you to be a bit more independent. You set up your own local development environment from day one. Projects aren't broken down into small pieces. You have to build them from scratch. Luckily, you're given all the tools required. You just have to kind of work with them and figure out what goes where. So I started the foundations course, which introduces you to HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, but first has a lot of mindset, introduction, computer basics, installation. So you set up your local development environment, introduces you to Git early on, which I think is very advantageous because the earlier on you set up your environment, the quicker you start building your portfolio and gaining experience of what is actually required in the real world. So yeah, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and a lot of projects. And then you can pick between a Ruby on Rails path and JavaScript path. Most people take the JavaScript path because you kind of, the ease of learning one language for the front end and the back end, but there's a lot of debate about that, and I won't get into it. So what's the advantage about it? It's excellent for developing actual problem solving skills, which is very fantastic. Let's go on to Full Stack Open. Full Stack Open is not for beginners. It assumes you already know the basics of programming and just jumps into advanced topics like React, Node and Express.js, which if you're a beginner, I'm sure all this is just technical jargon. So I wouldn't recommend you start here. This is designed by the University of Helsinki and it offers you a much more deep dive into resources that run the web, that help you build and scale a whole lot of things that you probably want to learn about after you're pretty comfortable with the basics. Okay, so in terms of certification, freeCodeCamp offers certificates at every completion. Like at this point, you can go down. If you sign in, save your progress, and then you get a certificate for completing this entire section. So you get certification for completing the assignments and the projects and whatnot. The Odin Project, on the other hand, doesn't offer any form of certification. You just get through the project. You actually build real-world portfolio-worthy projects. And then Full Stack Open offers university credits. Actually, if you complete the exercises and exams, you can actually get university credits from the University of Helsinki in Finland. And if you're in Finland and get to complete the exams and exercises, you're guaranteed an interview. But not all of us are from Finland, so yeah. But in the real world, certificates don't really get you hired. Projects do. So employers care about your portfolio, whether or not you can solve the problems, and what is your hands-on experience. So which path should you choose? If I were to choose one, I would go all in on the Odin project. It trains you from the very basics to building full stack apps, like a real developer would in the real world. So you start building your problem solving skills from an very early stage. And then later on, I would go on after completing the Odin project, I would go on to full stack open to get a little bit more advanced. This is actually the path I took. So I'm a little bit biased, but it's for good reasons, biased with good reason. So here's a hybrid approach I would sort of recommend. We started the Odin project. The basics, set up your development environment, start working through the projects and uh, everything associated with it. And then once you reach the JavaScript course, you come and find projects, rock, paper, scissors. It actually walks you through these projects. But they tend to get complex very quickly. So what I would recommend is you come to the freeCodeCamp. So most of these boot camps have similar projects. So you come to the version in the freeCodeCamp, you come to the version of whatever project you're working on in the Odin project and try to work it through with a little bit of hand holding, understand the logic, understand how the pieces come together. And then when you're done, you kind of go back and build it from scratch for yourself on the Odin project, which I feel is the best method because you get more practice and you get to really understand what you're doing. Very valuable skills, problem solving skills, a very, very valuable skill. So that is how I would recommend you go through the JavaScript project. Then when you get to the React section and the Node.js, I would recommend you keep on the track. If you want to still go hybrid, it'll take a little bit longer. I'd recommend you complete the Odin project. And then if you have, if you're done with a particular section, you still have questions, I would recommend going to the to the freeCodeCamp and build some projects from there based on that particular topic. There's plenty resources. There's plenty walkthroughs in here. And then when you're ready and feel like you're done and ready with the Odin project, you can now go on to much more advanced concepts like, well, there's a whole lot of testing. There's a whole lot of, you start learning about GraphQL, CI/CD, which is the realm of DevOps and containers. Also TypeScript, which is not covered in the Odin project and freeCodeCamp. Keep in mind, we're not talking about the YouTube channel freeCodeCamp. We're talking about the learning path for full stack web development. So you come and cover the TypeScript and React Native, which allows development on mobile. I think this would be the perfect route. So what are we looking at in terms of time frame? So I would recommend like 2 to 3 months, 2 to 4 months doing the basics of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and then a little bit of advanced JavaScript for like a month or two. React for 3 to 4 months. This should give you a good feel of every stage of the way, and then backend probably 3 to 4 months. Keep in mind, this is both for learning and building projects, which is a completely different ball game. You can learn, and then building is a real challenge as you go on. You get to understand that. So some people go faster, some take longer. The most important part is that you're consistently learning. Yeah, so You shouldn't really think about the time frame. So yeah, programming languages come and go. These are just tools that help you get from one point to another. But expanding a skill across different platforms, I feel that's the most important thing. You need to learn how to solve problems. And if you're able to work through you can probably work through anything. So whether you want full structure, flexibility, or a challenge, freeCodeCamp, the Odin Project, and Full Stack Open give you a good feel. They give you quite the challenge. They teach you all the skills you need to learn. And by the end of either path, you definitely develop the skills that are required to get hired and or build what you're trying to build. Sometimes you're just trying to build something real cool, right? So yeah, I think that's my take on this. I hope you learned something. Peace.